Hello, this is Masa from the Great White North. So, last video about MetaZoo, I showed a new rulebook. There was some cool spoiler in it, and I went through it, but like pretty quickly, pretty fast. And what I wanted to do today is kind of to go more in depth, go like step by step, how do a combat resolve? Because that's kind of the most important part of MetaZoo, and I think it's not that obvious, especially like how you block and elemental advantages, things like that. So just, we're gonna go through this part of the rulebook and we're gonna show some examples, and hopefully that's gonna help everybody understand better. And also I wanted to remind you, Infinity have a tournament on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific. First prize gonna be full holo Uncle Sam, for those who couldn't get the barbecue Uncle Sam, and there will be like at least 2 other holo, depending how many people come. I will show some more in the pot. And second is that MetaZoo is having some exam to become MetaZoologist, which is like being a judge for event. So like it's open to anybody, and it's better if you study and if you have played quite a few games before you apply. But yeah, I recommend you check it out on their Discord. And yeah, let's look at this rule book. So some things have changed since the last book, and anyway, this is a new rule book, so we should follow this one, and we're gonna go directly to combat. Combat begins whenever an attack is declared by fatiguing a beastie. The steps of combat are as follows. So you know what? For this example, we're gonna take 2 beastie. We're gonna take my trusty Pierre the Bird, and we're gonna take a lizard man. All right. So if it's like real play, it would be like that, but I'm just gonna put them like that. This is player 1, this is player 2. All right. So I'm controlling the Pierre the Bird because I like fire. Step 1: the beastie controlling caster, myself, cool, selects an attack on the beastie and a page or caster as the target. So, and step 0 is that you have to fatigue it. You know what? I'm going to do it like that. It's going to be clear. So you have to fatigue your creature. I'm attacking this one. This is called the original target. And when you do that, at the same time, you see step 1, select an attack on the beastie and a page or caster as a target. So first, the combat start, I do that. Then the next step is I choose a target. You know what? Let's put some more green stuff. The opponent of those 3 creatures. I target Lizardman. At the same time, so step 1, select an attack and a page or caster as a target. I need to choose an attack. Pierre the Bird have only one attack. It's called Magma Blast. All right, let's keep reading. So I'm attacking with Magma Blast, the Lizardman. You may target any opposing caster, beastie, trap page that is not under a page in the arena, artifact, equipment. So I could attack like my opponent, I could attack an artifact, I could attack a trap page that is not under a page in the arena. And let's continue. If you target a page with a face down trap page under it, I'm gonna put a Chupacabra as a page trapped under it, a trap page under it. If you target a page with a face down trap page under it, or a trap page that is not under a page, flip the trap page face up. So you have no choice, you have to do it. If the trap page is a beastie or artifact, it is automatically fatigued and declared as defender. However, important rule here that is in the following section: if you flip a card, you have to pay for its cost. If you don't pay for its cost, it just goes to the limbo. Assuming I pay for the Chupacabra, it's going to be automatically fatigued and declared as a defender. So now, this card is a defender. If it's a spell option, it will resolve its effect immediately. I'm just following the rule, you know, like the list. But for this example, I'm going to remove the trap. I think it's a bit more complicated. Too complicated. Then, the opposing caster that controls the target of the original attack. So it's also called the original target. This is a lizard man. Can declare any number of defenders by fatiguing those pages. Alright, so that you know the second, I attack this guy with this attack. Then the opposing caster that controls the target of the original attack. So the opponent controls this guy, can declare any number of defender by fatiguing those pages. So like I could say like those two defend this guy. But for the first example, they're not going to do anything. I will remove them. I'm just attacking this. The opponent doesn't declare any defender. Then select only one attack on one of the defenders to use, if any are available. And that defender becomes the primary defender of the original attack. Let's read that slowly. Then select only one attack on one of the defenders to use. I didn't select any defender. So what's happening? Let's read. Only beasties that are not already fatigued may be declared. So yes, like if my Snoop Snake is fatigued, I cannot block that. You know what? I'm going to turn it around. That's kind of easier. If this was fatigue, I can't defend with that. If the defender from which the attack was selected becomes the primary defender. This is also very important. Let's highlight this. So the notion of primary defender, we find it later in some rules. In that case, well, they didn't say, well, I didn't declare any defender. What's happening? If the opposing caster does not declare any defender, my case, the original target of the attack automatically becomes the primary defender. So it means Lizardman automatically become primary defender in my case. And an attack on the original target must be declared for use. This does not cause the primary defender to fatigue. So that's very important. I'm not defending with anything. Lizardman is automatically declared as a primary defender. I have to choose an attack. So you know, most of cards, I mean every card right now they have only one attack, but if we have some cards with two attacks, after we can choose which one. And be careful, power are not attack, that's completely different. In another video I will talk about power, but here we are just like beating each other and doing attacks and defend. And also important, I don't fatigue this card. And also, if the Piazza Bird was attacking the Lizardman, it can still attack back. You don't care if it's fatigue or not. Alright, next. Check for which beastie attack first. Very important. And that's pretty simple. So you go in this order. If neither the attacker or the primary defender, so this guy, have the first strike trait, let me show you how it looks. This card, quits, have the first strike trait. It's kind of this sword slashing violently. If neither the attacker or the primary defender have the first strike trait, the attacker resolves their attack first. If the attacker has a first strike trait and the primary defender does not, the attacker resolves their attack first, no change. If the attacker does not have first strike and the defender has first strike, defender attack first. And if both the attacker and the primary defender have the first strike trait, you flip a coin. If it's head, the attacker resolves the attack. And you have to be careful here, something. This is the attacker that flips the coin. Alright, not the defender. This is the attacker that creates this situation. This is the attacker that won the head. It's always the player that won the head that flips the coin. I mean, this is kind of a rule of thumb. Normally it's always written, it's just something that I used to remember. If it stays, the defender resolves first. So, alright, nobody have first strike. So we are in this case, the attacker resolves their attack first. Alright, so Piazza Bird resolves its attack first. What does it mean? Because it's not always that simple, you know. So let's move to resolve the attack. That's what we are doing now. So in order, the beastie that will resolve its attack first resolves their chosen attack. See resolve a chosen attack below. You know, we're going to look at that right after. I just want to read through that. If there are no defending pages, the primary defender left in the arena combat ends. Yeah, if there is no more target for the attack, it's done. If the beastie that declares the attack is no longer in the arena combat ends, obvious, the beastie will resolve its attack second resolves their chosen attack. The beastie that will resolve its attack second resolves their chosen attack. Yeah, so what counts here for most cases is that the creature that the beastie that have priority. So in that case, Piazza Bird, because I attack with it, so there is no first strike or anything here, you attack first. So you resolve this attack, and then the lizard man resolve his attack. So how do you resolve a chosen attack? And that's something, you know, that is not so trivial ever. It's not like, all right, I have a number, let's do it and let's put this number. Well, but some cards do something in their attack. Some cards like this one, it have fire and it have this forest symbol. What does this mean? I mean, you know that this fire means that it will inflict burn. You know that this forest means that it will deal plus 20 damage to a target that is of the forest type. But like, what's the order of all that? You know, so let's follow the rule. Let's read that. In order, activate any effect of the attack. This includes the effect text of the attack and icons text next to the attack. Alright, well, that makes it simpler. Okay, so I resolve this attack because he attacked first. Alright, so we have flame here, so it go first. So it go on the target. So this get burned. I think it's pretty clear. Next step, apply the damage modifier of type advantage based on the aura type of the primary defender and attacker. That's very important. We will see when we defend with somebody to the amount of damage. All right, so what does it mean here? This guy attack for 75. I'm attacking a forest beastie, so I get plus 20, but I also have a forest here, so I get plus 20, so plus 40. So it means this attack for 75 plus 40, which is 115. Then we follow, apply the damage modifier of Terra bonuses. I don't have any, so still 115. But if I had, if I was in a desert, that would be plus 50, and that would become 165 at this stage. You know, you have to do stage by stage. So 115. And then deal the modified damage number to the defender or defenders. A page may not have damage allocated to its greater than its current LP. Any page that has its LP reduced to 0 is immediately destroyed. And after it's about multi-blocking. So then you deal the damage. We will see after how we divide when we have more than one defender. Any remaining damage that cannot be allocated to a defender is allocated to the original target. Remember, original target, in that case, that was a lizard man. So I do this attack. Sadly, my lizard man is dead after resolving that because he's destroyed because I'm doing 115 and you have only 50. But if he were not destroyed, the second attack to resolve, and we come back to this first line, resolving a chosen attack. At the beginning, I chose this scale as my attack for the lizardman, and then this attack resolve, doing this scale on the Piazza bird. So let's do something, so that's all. Like, today I just wanted to go through this line. Let's make it a bit more complicated. Maybe this is too complicated. Let's do it with, let's block with Sam, all right? And you know what, with Sam, and I don't really care if it's doable in real, but we have those three guys, all right? So we come back, I just follow what I put in yellow. The beastie controlling, so I still attack, the Piazza bird is attacking the lizardman. The beastie controlling caster, you select an attack on the beastie and a page or caster as a target. So at the same time as I declare my attack, I have to say which attack. I attack with Magma Blast, and I'm attacking the lizardman. Then, second step, the opposing caster that controls the target of the original attack, aka the original target, can declare any number of defenders by fatiguing those pages. I'm gonna declare those two guys, those two beasts as defenders. Then select only one attack on one of the defender. That's where it's important. They're not going to both attack. This guy will not attack. You have to choose an attack at this stage. I declare those two as defender. This guy is not a defender. I have those two. And I need to choose either the attack of Sam Sinclair, called Holy Shot, or G Freeze from GG Bird. I'm just showing you the card a bit closer. I'm going to choose Sam Sinclair attack, Holy Shot. And this is also very important. That defender becomes the primary defender. So whoever you choose for the attack, when you defend to attack back, becomes the primary defender. It's not the original target, it's whoever you choose. And that changed a lot of things. Only beasts that are not fatigued, we know that. The defender from which the attack was selected becomes the primary defender, that's what we just said. If the opposing caster does not declare any defender, yeah, we did that. The original target becomes a defender. And just we follow, what we highlighted in yellow. If neither the attacker or the primary defender have the first strike trait, the attack resolve first. All right, Piazza bird attack first. So who do you attack? That's important. You just say it resolve first. So then the word attack resolve bring you to chapter 4. Resolve the attack. All right. So how do we do that? How do we resolve this attack Magma Blast on this situation where I have two defender? Sam is my primary defender. Lizardman is my original target, and GG Bird is just a guy defending, defending for the team. So the beasties that will resolve its attack first resolve their chosen attack. All right, so now we are at the step where it resolves Magma Blast. So let's go to resolving attack. Activate any effect of that attack that includes the effect text of the attack and icon next to attack. Important there. All right, so the Piazza bird, we have to resolve this attack. This attack has this effect. Fire. So who get burned? Sam, Lizardman, this guy, everybody? Well, the attack is resolving, not targeting the primary defender. So the primary defender get burned. Boom. And there are other cards. If it's on the symbol, like if it was a quetz, for example, change it to a quetz, same. The primary defender would get paralyzed. There is one card that I don't have here. The Hobgoblin King. It inflicts scare to all the creatures in combat. And that's why in that case that would be everybody. So, but in that case, here we have Piazza bird. This is a primary defender. We are resolving the attack, so the attack goes directly to Sam. So Sam gets burned. Apply the damage modifier. Alright. Based on the aura type of the primary defender and attacker. That's why it's also important. This is fire, this is light. They don't care about each other, so it stays 75. I hope you are following here. It doesn't care that the original target is him. It also don't care, like, let's say the Piazza Bird was attacking Gigi Bird. And I was defending with Lizardman and Sam Sinclair. Because when I'm defending, I'm choosing Sam Sinclair attack. This is a primary defender, and that's what counts for the how it's called, the damage modifier of type attack. So this is something you can play with, you know, like for example, if you play with Forest, it's good to have something that is not weak to fire. If you think in the meta game, there are a lot of fire creatures, so that you might want to block. You know, something to keep in mind. That's kind of like next level play. That's how to play smart. And this game is actually built really so that you can play smart, you can outplay your opponent, and it has a very robust structure. Apply the damage modifier of Terra. Alright. We do that later. We don't have any Terra here. So we are coming for 75 with no boost at all because Sam is light, so there is no boost, so it's still 75. Deal the modified damage number to the defender or defenders. A page may not have damage allocated to it greater than its current life point. Any damage that has its life point reduced to 0, any page, sorry, that has its life point reduced to 0 is immediately destroyed. If there are multiple opposing defending pages in the combat, the controller of the attack must allocate, that's important. The controller of the attack must allocate the damage in multiple of 5 between the defending pages however they wish. At least 5 damage must be allocated to each defender. That's also important. So what does it mean? Piazza Bird is the attacker. The controller of Piazza Bird decides how the damage goes between Sam and Gigi Bird. Lizardman is not a defender, so no damage goes to it. How much damage? Well, even if it was like that, it would still be 75 because we already checked how much damage it is previously in this step. So it doesn't change. So, but let's keep it later, you know? So 75, and it does 75 to Sam 90. So Sam is taking 75 damage, and there is no spillover damage. But that the attacker would choose that. He could very well, in that case, put 40 damage here and 35 damage on Sam, so that he destroys the Gigi Bird. What is important is that the total of both damage for both defender is equal to the total attack, which is 75. And second thing is that you can't, what I just said before is wrong, you can't just put 75 on Sam. We have another defender. You see here, at least 5 damage must be allocated to each defender, which means the max I can do to Sam is 70, not 75. So, you know, let's say you have a Joint Snake. When you catch Joint Snake, you decide to make X Baby Snake, X Forest Beastie. Well, it means like, if you have like 5 little beastie blocking with that, the opponent have to assign 5 to each of them. So you can really protect, like, this Gigi Bird means that at least Sam will take 5 less damage. You can't put just 0 on one of the defender. So that's important. But you can, the opponent, the attacker can choose and put like 40 here, 35 here. You can't put any damage on the original target until those two are dead, are destroyed. Once they are destroyed, so let's remove some, and let's say we have a Joint Snake with just 1 counter. 75, well, let's do it like that first. Let's say this is the case, you know. Piazza Bird is attacking Lizardman. I have those two creatures, I defend with them. I choose G Freeze as my attack as a defender, which means Piazza Bird must burn him, inflict burn to him, and it will check ice. So flame is not strong against ice, so there is no modifier, it's still 75. And then the opponent decides how much damage to assign between those two defenders. One have 10 life points and one have 40. So 70, you can do 10 here, 40 here. That kill both of them. 75 minus 10 minus 40 is equal to 25. So there is still 25 damage that, in that case, would automatically go to the Lizardman. You can't just put more damage on one creature. You can't put more, it's written here. May not have damage allocated greater than its current life points. You can't do more damage than what the creature can have in life point. So in that case, you do 40 here, 10 here, there is no choice. And 75 minus 50, that's 25 here. And because I chose the GG Bird, there is no advantage boost. Even that's fire and even those two are forest, you don't care about that because this is your primary defender that count. Well, I think that's enough for today. I think that will help a lot of people. There are a lot of things that I get asked during our tournament, like how does Venomous Ma work and how does Stone Skin works, how does Regen works, can you attack back creature with flying, and we're gonna try to, you know, like I prepare this for today's session and I wanted to go through all them, but like I think I really had to go through the, you know, how an attack and defend work just with simple example, and then we can move in other video on like a bit more complicated combat. I hope that was useful. It's not as trivial as some may think. So really this game is interesting because you can do it really like a basic level, and there is really room to grow. Like you can outplay your opponent if you know well the rules. So I recommend you study a bit more. If you have any question, you post them below. You can also reach the MetaZoo Discord, ask to MetaZoologists. They are the smart guys that know all the rules. And yeah, I don't know when I will do next video. Probably not before next tournament or not before the next MetaZoologist event. But you can always shoot me comment. I will try to answer. And you can decide what will be in our next tutorial video. If you want something about Quetz, Gumbaroo, Chupacabra, Sam, or anything, you can just tell me like 1-2 cards that how do they work together, or like just put me a scenario and we can talk about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the game. Please play. Open your booster. Don't put them in the drawer. Please open those boosters. Play some cards. Make people like MetaZoo. And I will do my best to help you guys get MetaZoo card for Nightfall. I'm really trying hard. I really want to help all of you. We have to make this game huge, and it is huge, and it has to be open, and it has to be understood well. Thanks for the video. Thanks for watching the video, and see you next time.